So I think this is actually a better approach.
I said it's just not CSR more weighted to investment.
Corporate social responsibility?
That is CSR. So the concept is beyond the concept of CSR. More related to the business flow. The money will be circulated more with the concept of CSR. The CSR alone cannot generate the money. It's like the investment.
Well, if you, for example, why do companies buy into a CSR model? Because they want PR, right? They want good publicity. They want people to invest in these companies.
It's just emotion.
It's emotion. That you need to brand it, just like what we were talking before. If you want to people to do the right thing, they need to be able to show it to the world. Otherwise, it doesn't give you anything. So corporate social responsibility is a way to actually allow companies to brand themselves, and they need to take certain steps. So the steps. There is a program for it in order to do that. My friend from university is the current director of a corporate social responsibility program. This is a government-sponsored team.
Is it similar to this?
It actually, I think it's similar to this to some extent. Yeah.
But I tell you, Japanese CSR, many companies failed actually. Right? As you know, like Toshiba, how come they did for CSR? Too much, How? Okay, too much superficial.
Yeah. Well, I mean, basically we're here, and CSR is around for already 10 years, maybe longer actually. Maybe even I'm here already for 10 years, so probably 20 years. We have CSR in the Netherlands, and I don't.
By the way, what is coming from this chart? Actually, what is the result from this?
Well, basically, what this chart aims to do is aims to show that how what the state of the economy is, and what the state of our society is.
What does she want to leave from this donut?
She wants to make sure that we are going to change the way that we are running our economy. That we are not have a single point of interest, GDP maximization. That's her point. So she says, okay.
So she said, need to consider more points.
Yes, we need to be much more. We cannot.
Like
I tell you,
I tell you one example. Chinese government, they changed their performance evaluation of their bureaucrat from GDP to including environment, adding environment.
Right. Bhutan has the happiness, like the happiness measurement, I think, as the not GDP, but the happiness indicator.
One example.
So, I believe that humans are very good at abstracting the situation, at creating models to better understand how they work. We use them in physics, in Newton, the laws of thermodynamics and things that were mentioned by Rifik. But actually, they are models. They are simplifications. But we really start to believe in our own models, and that becomes problematic.
But whenever you're talking about Bhutan, is very dangerous because that country is very small.
Yeah.
The same as Setagaya Ward.
Right.
So you're talking about Setagaya Ward.
It's the only country in the world that has the national happiness indicator. So that's
okay. No. I'm talking about Setagaya Ward, and now we have happiness ward now. The same.
Yeah.
And because why I recognize their Prime Minister, they had a good speech. I saw this. Oh, this look like talking about kind of Japanese some city of mayor level,
Right.
not high. So they are talking about that like that. So this is what my question is. What this one you show that? Okay, we every time we don't talking about just only the GDP one figure,
Right.
but also we need to consider many aspects.
Right.
China is one aspect. They also consider GDP plus environment
Right.
measurement, performance measurement for evaluate for their officers. This is the more simple, not like this is very sophisticated.
Yeah, this is
Many parameters, very difficult to judge. What is the best way to judge?
right, but doable because we have all these we have all these measurements. They don't just drop out of the air. There's a lot of ways that we can measure things.
So I think your recommendation is instead of GDP one figures, where you're going to prepare all those 20 of the performance measurement.
Right, and see where do we need to focus? Where do we
Too
need?
much.
Yeah, but these are all serious problems. I mean, if they turn red, then it's a serious problem.
Well, it's
If there's not enough
I
housing.
tell you, this is woman like, woman is like this. She's going to speak lots of compliment. Oh, so many. Oh my God, She, woman association, she needs to keep this one. Who's going to maintain this kind of performance measurement? It's impossible. This is woman prepared.
Yeah.
Men never make this. More simplified.
So
Okay, next, what we have more 5 minutes. So you can summarize today.
okay, yeah, unfortunately. Do you all know the law of thermodynamics?
What?
The law of thermodynamics, the second law of thermodynamics.
What does this mean?
He was talking about that.
Thermodynamics. What is this?
Well, this is about the heat loss for production.
Heat loss.
And when
Oh,
you produce.
heat loss is the heat performance.
Basically, in every step in the production process, you lose heat. You put not all the energy that you put into your product is actually ends up in your product. There's a lot of heat loss in the process. So that's the second law of thermodynamics. So very simply put, every step of the production process we lose energy. We increase production, we lose energy through energy inefficiency. So economic growth, more production is associated with energy loss. In times the economic growth demand arises very quickly. Oil is a finite energy resource. Our technology platform depends on it. So we need to change the platform.
What do you mean? We need to change the product.
We need to go through the third revolution and change from fossil fuels to renewable energy. So what is energy intensity? Energy intensity is a measure of the energy efficiency of a nation's economy. It's calculated as the units of energy per unit of GDP. High energy intensity indicates a high price of cost of converting energy into GDP. Low energy intensity indicates a lower price or cost of converting energy into GDP. So in this case, we see here that the GDP per unit of energy used. So how much energy, if you use 1 unit of energy, and we are using the energy unit, oil equivalent. This is, I think it's called BTU, the British Thermal Unit. That's basically, so we add together different energy sources, gas, coal, oil.
So higher number is good or bad?
Higher number is good. Higher number is good. But it's not a complete measure. Because it doesn't say that high is good, because basically it means that if you use 1 unit of energy, you are able to produce $12 of
Why China
GDP.
is worse? Because they are using coal?
They're using
Coal?
a lot. They are very energy inefficient.
Inefficient coal?
Yeah.
The energy?
So they need to use a lot of energy But at the same time, also their GDP is lower, so it's not really fair. We're comparing apples with oranges. Therefore, this is a better graph. This is not easy to read, but you see here energy inefficient, moderately energy efficient, and highly energy efficient.
What is the right hand side? It's Bangladesh?
Bangladesh.
Why Bangladesh is
So we see actually, if we look at the GDP per million BTU, the thing is they don't use energy in Bangladesh. They probably can't afford it.
BTU.
Yeah, that's the British thermal unit. British thermal unit. That's a way to measure this, a unit of energy, and actually it's the amount of energy used. I don't know. 1 kilo of water, 1 liter of water. That's the same, but I think that's actually one liter of to raise 1 liter of water with 1 degree.
So they don't use energy.
They don't use energy because they are also very unproductive. But they actually the GDP that they produce, they are actually using very little energy. So it's a manual labor that is producing the GDP.
How about the left side, Russia and Ukraine?
Russia and Ukraine, they are completely at the other side. So they are they use a lot of energy, and they are also unproductive. So that means that basically Russia and Ukraine, they have a higher GDP, but they use a lot of energy in the process.
How about US? High production.
US is they are also energy inefficient. They use a lot of energy, but they are very productive.
What do you mean productive?
Productive means that they actually have a very high output, a GDP per head.
So, better device, better labor.
So basically what we see here, if we look at the energy consumption, we see that these countries they consume a lot of energy. But if we look at the actual the GDP per head, then we see that there's a different group. Here we have the Taiwan and Spain, Greece, South Korea. They are moderately productive. The GDP per capita is somewhere in the middle. But they also use quite a lot of energy. Then we have the group here, the Europeans. They also use a lot of energy. They are a little bit more productive. So they manage to create more output per energy unit. And then we have Canada and the US. US uses a lot of energy, just basically the same as these European countries. But they are actually highly productive.
I never heard about the GDP per capita. Per capita? Per person?
Yeah, per capita, per person.
Per person?
Per
Oh,
person.
okay.
Per person. A capita is the same as a
Okay,
person.
per person. Yeah.
Yeah, so we also see that these countries use more oil per head. They're not necessarily more productive.
But the expression of the bottom line is not so good. Highly energy efficient is Bangladesh? Okay.
Well, it's energy efficient, but they use very little energy.
Yeah, but the expression, the word is not accurate. Not highly efficient. Right.
So basically, without using any energy, they can still produce output. But so basically, in order to put it in,
Are they energy inefficient? Left side energy inefficient?
left side is energy inefficient. Yeah, they use a lot of energy in their process, in their production process. Bangladesh doesn't. They only use manpower, physical power.
What this chart means?
Discharge means that we can look at what we saw here, but it doesn't mean much if we don't put it in the perspective of how productive people are. And so the rate of return on this energy consumption here, we can make a statement here. Bangladesh is a very advanced country because they're very highly energy efficient. No, it means that basically Bangladesh doesn't have the money to buy the fuels, and they're doing most things manual.
Yeah, Bangladesh and Philippines is exceptional. We better see the similar level of the GDP, and Hong Kong is more efficient. So
right,
this means
absolutely
like Hong Kong's economy is more
it's more efficient. Yeah,
like finance.
Exactly.
And US is doing more heavy industry, like the car manufacturing, like the heavy farming.
Exactly. Yeah. So in this group, Italy is the most energy efficient, actually.
Italy is what?
Well, I mean,
tourism.
Yeah, and Italy actually they also do relatively a lot of farming, and they also don't need a lot of energy to warm their houses because the temperatures there are relatively fashion brands.
So fashion brands is generating.
They don't produce anything but Ferraris and Fiats.
Yeah. And same one, Switzerland.
Switzerland, basically Switzerland doesn't do anything. They just keep their mouths shut.
Mm-hmm.
So it's making sure that you compare the right countries with each other and see, okay, how am I doing vis-a-vis my competitors?
Explain again why Hong Kong is
Hong Kong actually is very productive, but it uses actually, they are also moderately energy efficient.
How efficient they are?
So, for example, if there would be an oil shock, if there would be a price shock and the oil would go up dramatically, that would really hit countries like Russia, Ukraine, Saudi Arabia. Well, they sit on their own oil, but Russia too. But it would really hit those countries very hard because they are very unproductive. They need a lot of oil, and they don't even produce a lot of GDP. In this case, also it would hit the US hard, but still, I mean, they are very productive, so they can still remain competitive. These countries are there.
Okay, just let me try to confirm again. Energy inefficient. How inefficient?
Basically, they are not capable of generating a lot of output for the energy that they use.
Like central heating,
for example,
or
a lot of heat loss.
Characteristics.
Yeah, it could be like if you have
Hong Kong, there's less amount of heavy industry,
right.
Companies.
Yeah, but actually, don't be mistaken by that. Yeah, for example, steel production is kind of energy intensive, but because it's so energy intensive, these industries have become rather energy efficient. They have become rather energy efficient.
Okay.
Okay, so maybe we should keep this one for next week and start there. The German energy.
That is Dutch. German is a language.
So the Energiewende. The Energiewende. These are the German targets. Yeah. This is what Germany is doing. And I think this is very interesting because I want to know what Japan is doing. In this case, what are we doing, and why are we? Because it's very interesting what Germany is doing. The targets that they set, the way that they are focused on getting into this third industrial revolution, having a competitive advantage. And the way that they do it, because they have become the leaders, the global leaders in this movement. And they are inviting others, and they are actually selling their technology. They're bringing in new technology partners into their country. So they're already taking the leadership. And I'm afraid that, and not because of Mr. Rifkin, by the way, because this movement already started in the 1980s with the Green Party became a serious political factor. But because he really makes it sound as if he's the inventor of all this, but that's not exactly true. He captures it quite eloquently, but it's not all his idea.
Okay, we're going to finish.
Okay, all right. So next week, the Energiewende.
Okay, thank you very
In
much for
Deutschland.
today.
Okay,
Thank you.
ありがとう。
I'm tired.
お疲れ様でした。Hey, your escape button is.
No.
Ah,
Thinking.
it's
Okay.
Thinking.
it's a spinning beach ball of death.
Yeah. And just, yeah. Somewhere. Oh, you didn't. No, not that one. Ah, okay, this one.はい、皆さんこんにちは、雲野です。今日はですね、雲野塾の研修のプログラムをご紹介したいと思います。で、こういうふうなホームページありますけれども、ぜひですね、一度中身をご覧になっていただきたいと思います。今日はブーキューブさんのスタジオに来て、この収録をしておりますので、中身はこういうふうになってて、今最近ホットなね、グローバルリーダーの定義など書いてあります。で、特に経団連が作成しました、留学すれば英語ができて専門性を持つというだけではですね、グローバルリーダーになれないとここに書いてありますようにですね、仕事ができる専門性を持つ英語ができるだけじゃなくてですね、私どもの塾ではリベラルアーツということと、それからもう一つは孫子の兵を、さらにはですね、日本の歴史というものを合わせて教えることによって皆さんが海外の欧米の方々と、もしくは華僑圏の方々と正々堂々と渡り合えるような人物を育成しようというふうなことを考えています。ここに次のスライドが出ておりますけれども、ここに書いてありますのはですね、さらに、私どもの雲野塾の中身につきましてはですね、欧米の資料しか使っておりません。また実際に雲野塾は英語でやっておりますので、英語の講師がこう話しておりますけど、学習はですね、日本の歴史をまだ教えて